This week was kind of a off week for me. Didn't really go into expecting to make any trades. It was more going to be just me stepping back, kind of reset myself and make sure that I'm on the right track. I've been noticing that more of my plays lately have been those 4 to 7 a.m. trades, but my broker does not allow me to do that unless I pay the additional fees by calling in. So I'm not willing to do that. I'm looking to change brokers. But right now, I am with TD Ameritrade, and I mean, I'm happy with using Thinkorswim for now. Um, but I went in my my two real trades this week were GNUS and SPC or Virgin Galactic and Genius Brands. Uh, both of them didn't go in actually expecting to make a trade on them. Did not go off the news. I strictly went off of the indicator. I have previously traded them both, and so I have my previous holdings watch list, and I saw both of them just starting to pop up further and further through the morning. Um, I actually have SPC open right now, and I got into this. I want to say right in here. Oh, actually, sorry, day before. Got in right in here after the morning crack, and I've been watching this stock since, shoot, all the way back to January or February. My first initial trade on it, I mean, I had like two shares. I made 30 bucks on it. I bought in off of some rumors. Well, that was back when things were really starting to get running for them. Um, but so obviously, I kind of know the trends with this. Right now, my ultimate entry point has kind of been around the 1450. That's if you talk to Goose, him and I have been talking about that for a while. Uh, I think I'm the one that actually put the stock on his radar, and I keep looking for those entries, but I get distracted with other trending news, and so it falls down on my watch list. But this time it did crack down. It's been falling for a few days. Let me see if I can switch up. Here's 15-day view. So I mean, you can see it had already had a really good spike one morning. That was pre-market, 4 a.m. Actually, that was 6 a.m. as far as that one. Um, Still before my trading time, but insane spike. For them, it's happened in the past, but it's not very often. Um, they do get some nice runs. But I was right in here on their low. I got in. I think I only bought like 10 shares. Didn't really feel like going heavy. I did have a little more equity to go in, but I just chose not to. Again, this was a week that I didn't feel like it. Uh, I did start looking into the news after my entry, and I held all the way into the spike the following morning. I did sell into the weakness, not into the strength. I mean, it was right after it had spiked and it had started to come back down. I think it was already 4, 5 cents down. Um, this is a horrible chart to view that. I don't even have one set up, but uh, it was right down 4 or 5 cents off. It did run down a little bit further, but of course that was just a little dip. It ran right back up. I didn't buy back in and try to catch it. I just let it continue. I did continue to watch it, but I had a nice little profit off that one. I think I had like just over $1 a share. I did buy back in somewhere in here, a bit high. It's been cracking down, but it's on trends. It's got news. They've been doing a lot more with their tests coming up. So I see them getting back into their 30s and 40s as they have been. Um, Obviously, that's a longer term play. I do more longer term investments and plays. I do some intraday, but not as many. Um, Many of y'all know that I'm holding XSPA. That's a long term one. I have done that with GNC. I've done it with Wader Holdings. I've done it with or WTRH. I've done it with several. XPO was my most profitable one That was a 3 or 4 year hold where I was got in on at 27, 28, rode it all the way to about 80. So I mean, there are the plays out there. You just find at the right time and have to have faith in them. My other stock, obviously, this week was GNUS. Obviously, all the hype around that one. We know the history, or at least, hopefully, y'all know the history on this. This was alerted on my previous holdings watch list once again. Um, it came in, I saw the big breakout. I saw it on the mark percent change because it was pre-market movement. That is a big indicator to really watch on any charting if you have that ability. Is the mark percent change will show you the market uh, movement before and after hours. That's it. It's not going to show you the change in percent change just because that's designated towards the actual market hours if you're not aware of that. But so I did see this alert. Cosmic actually did cover it pretty good. I think we actually had got entry right about in here in the pre-market. My first initial entry, okay, yeah, right before that market entry is actually where I got in, right in here. So right when it was starting to dip down. I did actually buy 30 minutes later after the open, I did buy in. I think bought in like another 50 shares or so. So I was by the time it started breaking back out, I positioned up again. There, I started seeing news on Twitter, on StockTwits, just more hype around it. So I saw the volume, I saw the chart indicators, and I mean I didn't sell out. I did have a limit set for $4. It got close, it didn't hit, and I wasn't really watching. I was too busy messing around on my computer. Actually, I got my Elgato Stream Deck this week, so I've been messing with that, learning how to make that work for me, and things awesome. But I missed my sell point because I was just too busy doing other stuff. So I ended up getting out. I want to say right in here somewhere. Um, got out 367. So right here, right when it pretty much at the bottom of that big crack. I mean, it's not the greatest, but that's what happens when you're not paying attention. And I didn't have a limit set, so um, or I did, but it was at $4. So I didn't have a stop loss set to where if it had cracked down, or I'm trying to learn to use the trailing stop orders, but I haven't really messed with them too much yet. But I still had great gains. I think it was $1 per share, so took away with a $150 profit on that one. But again, this is all off one off that I had saw off of movement, saw it continuing, saw the volume coming in. Once I bought in, yeah, I started looking at the trend news, but I was also watching it like a hawk to see if there's any signs of a fall off. So, um, again, I do use Bazinga a lot to my advantage. This will just indicate anything. This is where I go in and I'll watch my signals through the mornings. Uh, just watch for any movement coming in. And GNUS actually did indicate on here. I went back after I had bought in. I kind of watched to see where it was, uh, what kind of movement it triggered. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head right now. I actually have to go back and find it. But at the same time, I go into my scanners and see if it's moving up. Um, I mean, I look through. I have a morning routine that I follow through. Granted, this wasn't my typical morning. I was already in the mindset of I'm not trading this week. I'll let the plays come to me, and that's where I'm really trying to get back to. Really being the key key strategy for me is just letting the play come to me. I do look for those after hour movers for the next morning, and if it continue, I may buy in, take a short ride on it, but I'm going through points where I'm just kind of reanalyzing my strategy just because the issues I'm having with my broker. So hopefully soon enough I'll be able to just make that move and get things situated to where I can be doing those 4 to 7 a.m.s. But there's plenty of other plays right now. It's just not where my focus is. So that's where I'm changing up my strategy and kind of taking things a little bit easier. So that was pretty much my week though, with GNUS and space. That was pretty much Wednesday, Thursday. Um, I think I had one small trade on Monday. Actually, yeah, Monday, because Tuesday I didn't trade at all. I had other things to take care of. Um, actually, no, sorry, complete reverse. It was Tuesday that I traded. Monday and Wednesday I didn't do much, but I did catch the space on Wednesday. Um, but I think it was like HHT or something like that. I 4 cent gain off of that, holding 100 shares or something like that. So small trade, but I caught in on some volume and some news. So um, yeah, that's pretty much all that I was gonna talk about and show y'all. Um, my Thinkorswim setup has been changing a little bit recently. I'd still do run the 5 minute day view. Obviously, I go to it now, I won't show anything, but I also have the 1 minute, today 1 minute, which is running the Akanai candle, I believe it is. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's the Japanese candle that Cosmic was using as well. Studley had previously mentioned it, and that's in one of his previous posts on the Thinkorswim post on Discord. So you can check that out if you are using Thinkorswim. Hopefully that share still exists. Otherwise, you can reach out to him, see if he still has it. But it is a nice view just to see what the actual trend is. Uh, you do have to kind of learn a whole new charting, but that's pretty much it. So